You open your eyes, but it feels like you never really slept. Your body is heavy, your thoughts already tired, and somehow the day hasn't even started. You followed the routine, got the hours, did everything right, and still feel completely drained. How is it possible to rest all night and wake up feeling like something quietly stole your energy in the dark? Your body may be in bed, but your brain is still in 5 conversations, 3 emails, and 2 unfinished loops of worry. You think lying down means you're resting, but if your mind is rehearsing tomorrow's stress or replaying today's awkward moment, you're not entering sleep, you're entering a noisy waiting room. And in that noise, the deep restorative part of sleep gets delayed or disrupted. You close your eyes, but you don't really let go. Scrolling feels like a wind down. It looks harmless enough. A few memes, a video, maybe one last just checking message. But your nervous system doesn't speak convenience. It reads blue light, rapid content shifts, emotional spikes, and interprets them as danger or alertness. Even if you fall asleep quickly, your brain doesn't dive into true rest. It tiptoes around stimulation it never had time to release. The mental clutter you carry to bed becomes the weight your sleep has to fight against. And the more it has to fight, the less energy it has to restore. You wake up tired, not because you slept too little, but because your mind never had permission to power down. You wouldn't expect your phone to charge while you're still using it. So why do we expect that from our brains? If you want your sleep to work, you have to shut the tabs. Create a real ritual of unwinding, one that involves silence, stillness, reflection, or even boredom. Let the mind arrive at calm, not collapse. Because the true thief of energy isn't just poor sleep. It's everything you let follow you into it. You dim the lights, light a candle, put on your favorite show, maybe pour a glass of wine. Feels like peace. It feels like a ritual. But what you are calling winding down might actually be winding your system up. Not every soothing act is truly restful. Some habits only mimic calm while your brain stays alert beneath the surface. Take entertainment, for example. You think a binge-worthy series is helping you relax, but your heart rate increases, your emotions get pulled into high-stakes drama, and your body doesn't register any of it as rest. The same goes for late-night snacks with sugar or stimulants. Or having a drink that makes you drowsy but fragments your sleep architecture just hours later. You feel like you're doing something gentle, but it is quietly triggering. Even your favorite relaxing playlist might contain rhythms and lyrics that activate, not settle. These rituals aren't wrong, they're just misunderstood. They promise comfort but deliver disruption. They trick your nervous system into preparing for rest while actually keeping it in a semi-alert state. You go to bed calm but not restored. You wake up hazy and blame it on sleep, when the real culprit was how you entered it. If you want your rituals to heal, not harm, ask your body what actually brings stillness. Stillness isn't about escape, it is about return. A warm bath, a dim room, a quiet book, deep breathing, gentle movement. When your rituals become signals, not distractions, you reclaim your rest. And the more honest your wind down becomes, the deeper your sleep will follow. The moment your alarm goes off, your brain is bombarded. Notifications, headlines, unanswered messages, and that one email you've been avoiding since last week. Before your feet hit the floor, your energy is already under siege. And the worst part is, you've trained yourself to think this is normal. But it's not normal. It's a daily ambush dressed as routine. Your body just spent hours trying to recover, and within minutes, you hand it back to chaos. You scroll, you compare, you absorb tension, you spike your cortisol before breakfast. And by the time you shower, your nervous system has already processed a week's worth of stimulation. No wonder coffee feels like survival. It's not that you're lazy. You're leaking energy faster than your body can create it. You tell yourself mornings are hard, But it's not the hour that's the problem. It's the way you greet it. The habits, the inputs, the noise. It's starting your day in a state of emergency, then wondering why you feel anxious, scattered, and drained. You don't need more hours of sleep. You need to protect the ones you already have from being robbed the moment you wake. Try starting slower. 10 minutes of silence before screens. A glass of water before caffeine. Movement before media. These tiny shifts create space. And space is where energy rebuilds, because your mornings don't just set the tone. They set the capacity. Guard them like your life depends on it, because the quality of your day often begins in the quiet you allow yourself to feel. You tell yourself you'll catch up on sleep over the weekend, that after 5 nights of too little rest, 2 mornings of sleeping in will fix everything. But sleep doesn't work like a bank account. You can't repay the debt with a lump sum. You can't undo chronic exhaustion with a single marathon snooze. What you gain in extra hours, you lose in rhythm, and the damage lingers. Your body operates on cycles, not balances. Throwing off your sleep schedule with weekend oversleep confuses your circadian rhythm. It's like jet lag without the plane. You wake up groggy on Monday, not because you slept poorly, but because your internal clock lost its bearings. The inconsistency robs you of the very recovery you were chasing. You start the week not refreshed, but reset into a fog. And even when you think you're helping yourself, your system knows better. Oversleeping can actually increase fatigue, reduce mood stability, and worsen focus. It tells your body something is wrong, even when you feel like you're doing everything right. It becomes a loop of exhaustion and overcorrection that never truly lands. You're not resting. You're scrambling for scraps of energy that never fully stick. Real recovery isn't about sleeping more. It's about sleeping better. Consistency over compensation. Rhythm over rescue. And if you want energy to last, stop chasing it in bursts. Build a foundation it can grow from. Because the truth is, you can't catch up on sleep. But you can reclaim your right to protect it every night, one rhythm at a time. You wake up and immediately think of your to-do list. The meetings, the errands, the unread emails waiting like landmines in your inbox. Before you've even had a sip of water, your brain is in execution mode. And while the world praises this as discipline, what it really is, for most people, is a slow erosion of self. You've barely woken up, and already you're proving your worth. This pressure to perform right out of bed tricks you into thinking productivity equals energy. But pushing through fatigue with sheer willpower is not energy. It's adrenaline. And adrenaline is expensive. It burns fast and leaves nothing behind. The more you rely on it, the more depleted you become. You aren't building stamina. You're borrowing against a body that's still waking up. Mornings were never meant to be battlegrounds. They were meant to be beginnings. A space to check in, to align, to breathe before the noise. But somewhere along the way, we decided that if you're not producing, you're wasting time. That if your morning isn't optimized, it's a failure. And that mindset is draining you more than any task on your list. Start by reclaiming the first 15 minutes. Not for planning, not for prepping, just for being. Sit with your coffee, stretch your body, step into the sunlight. These aren't luxuries, they are lifelines. Because when you stop treating mornings like a race, they start becoming the runway for your day. And true energy doesn't come from pressure. It comes from presence. You were told breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But no one told you that what you eat can be more important than when. You grab something quick, cereal, toast, maybe just coffee, and call it fuel. But it's not fuel. It's a blood sugar roller coaster disguised as tradition. And that spike you feel? It's just your body panicking under a sugar rush. Within an hour, you crash. The alertness fades. The cravings creep in. Your energy, which never really settled, starts scrambling for stability. And so begins the loop. Another cup of coffee, a snack that promises focus, anything to keep the fog away. You're not fueling your body. You're chasing artificial highs and mistaking them for momentum. And every morning, it gets worse. The irony is brutal. You think you're being healthy, efficient, responsible, but your breakfast habits are sabotaging your energy before the day even begins. Too many carbs, too little protein, no hydration. And somehow, we've normalized feeling sluggish by 10 a.m. Like that's just how mornings work. But it's not normal. It's nutritional sabotage hiding in plain sight. The fix isn't complicated. Start with balance. Protein, healthy fats, real fiber, and actual water before coffee. Give your body a foundation, not a firework. Because when you stabilize your internal systems, your external focus follows. You don't need a bigger breakfast. You need a better one. And that small shift? It could change your entire day. The moment you wake up, your mind is ambushed. Notifications, headlines, group chats, calendar reminders, all flooding in before you've even had a chance to form a single original thought. Your brain hasn't had time to breathe, and yet it's already on defense. You're responding before you've arrived. And that, right there, is the beginning of your energy drain. We think checking everything early makes us prepared. That being in the loop gives us control. But what it really does is hijack your attention. You start your day inside someone else's agenda. Before you know it, you're solving problems that aren't yours, absorbing stress you didn't ask for, and mentally sprinting through a maze you didn't build. No wonder you're tired before noon. Your mind isn't designed to juggle 20 inputs the moment it wakes. It needs space to orient, to prioritize, to find clarity. But instead of honoring that, you drown it in data. And the cost is cumulative. You lose focus. You lose creativity. You lose the quiet wisdom that only shows up when the noise settles. And every time you say, I just need to check one thing, you give up that silence. Protect your mental space like it's sacred, because it is. Don't earn your peace by surviving chaos. Start with peace and bring that into your day. Delay the scroll. Mute the morning madness. Reclaim the first hour as yours, not theirs. Because a clear mind isn't a luxury, it's a weapon. And when it's sharp, you move through the world with power, not panic. You roll out of bed and immediately start stacking tasks. Emails, laundry, prepping lunches, checking your calendar, listening to a podcast while brushing your teeth. You tell yourself you're being efficient. That multitasking is a sign of a productive adult. But really, you're overwhelming your brain before it's fully awake. You're sprinting while still half asleep and calling it ambition. The first hour of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. And when it's jammed with noise and urgency, your nervous system starts off in overdrive. You might not notice it right away, but by mid-morning, the fatigue creeps in. Your focus slips. Your patience shortens. You're running on fumes, not because the day is hard, but because the launch was chaotic. There's a reason rituals matter. They ground you. They protect your energy. They remind your mind and body that you are in control. Not the clock, not the phone, not the noise. But we've traded rituals for routines that leave us more tired than we started. And somehow, we wonder why our energy never lasts past lunch. The truth is, the problem isn't the afternoon. It's the first 60 minutes. Start small. One intentional act. One quiet moment. One decision to begin your day on your own terms. Because the way you begin isn't about getting ahead. It's about getting centered. And a centered start doesn't just improve your morning. It changes your momentum for the entire day. You don't need to wake up at 5 a.m. or follow a 30-step routine with green juice and sunrise yoga. What you need is intention. What you need is space. Because the truth is, You've been surviving your mornings instead of using them to build something solid. And energy isn't something you find. It's something you protect from the very first moment your eyes open. The morning is your reset button. And if you spend it reacting, you give your power away before the day even begins. But when you slow down, when you claim those first moments as yours, everything shifts. You make better decisions. You process stress differently. You don't just have more energy, you have more clarity about where to use it. Redesigning your morning doesn't mean perfection. It means awareness. It means asking, what drains me before noon? And getting brutally honest with the answer. It means dropping what doesn't serve you and building what does. One choice, one breath, one habit at a time. Because real energy comes from alignment, not achievement. And alignment begins at sunrise. So this is your moment. Not to overhaul your life, but to take it back. To reclaim the first hour. To protect your mind. To fuel your body. To quiet the noise and amplify your presence. Because you weren't meant to drag yourself through mornings. You were meant to lead them. And starting tomorrow, you will.